Coming up next on this edition of In the City, MTSU unveils the first phase of a multi-million-dollar athletic facilities upgrade. Also, the first phase of TDOT's Highway 99 widening is completed with Phase 2 starting soon. Plus, the Benevolent Cemetery gets a new historical marker. And Murfreesboro was blessed to be one of the stops of a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial called The Wall That Heals. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. MTSU announces the first phase of a $100 million multi-phase project to upgrade their athletic facilities. With $66 million in hand, MTSU will soon start the first of a multi-phase project to upgrade the athletic facilities, starting with football. That will include new locker rooms and much more.
So we're going to build a 3-story building for our Student Athlete Performance Center, new weight rooms for all of our athletes, a new training room, equipment rooms.
After about 3 years of silent fundraising, this project is now public as they move into Phase 2, which will mainly include the renovations to the Murphy Center.
It will bring more events to the city, and certainly the city will benefit with more tax dollars coming to it. So it truly is not only a win for the university, but a win for our city, which in turn will keep the taxes down for our residents.
Currently in the design phase being led by an MTSU graduate, it will be about a year before construction begins. And the hope is this entire project will be complete by the 2024 football season.
So people draw their impressions of the university when they drive by, and when they see vibrant buildings and brand new entranceways and those kind of things, the impressions of Middle Tennessee State University are going to be great. So I think it's going to help everybody. It's going to help Murfreesboro. It's going to help Rutherford County. I'm so excited about this project. Can't wait for the construction to begin.
No tax dollars were spent on this project, and they are already $10 million in of a $15 million goal for the second phase. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. The Tennessee Department of Transportation has completed Highway 99 Phase 1 widening from I-24 to Cason Lane, with Phase 2 from I-24 to Old Fort Parkway beginning soon.
The Tennessee Department of Transportation recently finished Phase 1 road widening of Highway 99 from Interstate 24 to Cason Lane.
It was a difficult project, obviously, with the amount of traffic that the state had to deal with during the construction. I will say the state was really good working with us on keeping left-hand turn lanes in at signals and some of these side streets, just trying to maintain traffic. That wasn't originally designed in with the project by their consultant, but we pleaded with them to include that just so we could keep traffic moving here as much as possible. New Salem Highway, State Route 99, such an important route to the city of Murfreesboro, heading all the way out to Rockville and then all the residential areas that it serves here. But we're really pleased with the finished product. We believe the state did a good job with it. It's a little different than some of the projects that we build. It's got the 5 lanes, which is pretty typical for ours, but it also has a shoulder on it, which is, the state does that a little bit more on their projects. Comes in handy later in the future if you ever want to convert the shoulder to another lane. So then you've got 7 lanes going in each direction. But that was some back and forth with us during the design, and we liked that aspect of it, and really happy with the way that it turned out. It did take a little bit longer than what they had anticipated, mainly to do early on with some of the utilities, some time to get in and to get out of the way. Included some bridges along, which obviously those always take a little bit longer to complete, but they really did a good job with it. So we're excited to finally have this phase of it opened. So Phase 2 will actually start around Middle Tennessee Boulevard and will actually extend to Old Fort Parkway. If everything looks good with it, we hope that they'll start work after the first of the year on it. And it's about a 2.5 year project. It is tough. It's a very congested area. If you can't avoid it, if you've got another route to take, if you're just commuting home, we would encourage you to do that and just give them the space to do the work. Phase 3 will start at Cason Lane and it'll go out to Veterans Parkway. It's a little bit more open. It doesn't have as many of the bridges and stuff that they had to build with this, and they actually had some stream work to do with this project as well, which that always takes a little bit of time. So we're hoping that once they get that started, that it'll go a little bit more quickly than this one did. We're excited to finally have this phase of it opened, and then looking forward to the next phases that they're still working on.
The African American Heritage Society unveils a new historical marker for the Benevolent Cemetery. Murfreesboro's Benevolent Cemetery is now officially recognized as a historical site.
This ground was first opened as a cemetery in 1897.
The cemetery is now owned by Allen Chapel AME Church and was once the only cemetery specifically established for African Americans and run by the Colored Benevolent Society Lodge Number 11.
At that time, if someone became ill, incapacitated, the lodge would take over in lieu of family and support the person and stay with them, and then if they passed away, they were interred here.
Many of the people buried here were members of the military, which is fitting for its Veterans Day unveiling ceremony.
There are soldiers from the Spanish-American War and every war in between, and there is even a documented Vietnam veteran buried here as well.
The marker is located off of Park Avenue. The African American Heritage Society is responsible for raising the funds for this marker and to make sure more people know about this place and its significance.
A lot of people don't even know this is out here, and so that the African American Heritage Society's main goal is to educate. That's our mission.
Organizers tell us the reason events like this are important is to make sure the history of these places is never lost.
We want the younger generation to understand our history, and if we don't share it now while those of us that are seniors are still around, it might not get passed on.
The African American Heritage Society continues to raise money for historical markers like this to remember and preserve the rich history of our city. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. Murfreesboro was the last stop of the replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial that honors all fallen military personnel in the Vietnam War.
In 1996, a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. was built. This replica was designed to travel to communities throughout the United States. It's called The Wall That Heals, and Murfreesboro's Barfield Crescent Park was its last stop for its 2021 tour.
It is a tribute to the more than 58,000 men and women who died during service in Vietnam. And this display will actually make 26 stops throughout the year. We are the last stop for the 2021 tour. So after we are done here on Sunday, we'll load up, go back to DC where it'll sit for the winter before beginning next year's tour in March. I am a veteran. My husband's a veteran. And last year we were just talking that we wanted to do something for our community, bring our veterans together. I knew about this from previously working with it before and said, let's bring the Wall That Heals to Murfreesboro. Over the last year we spent working on it and made it happen. There's Vietnam veterans here in the area that can't travel to DC. They can't go to see the actual wall in Washington. So having this come here for them is healing for them because they finally get to put a hand on the name of someone maybe they served with, maybe they were with when they were killed in action.
We give a lot of information about the wall. We help people demonstrate name tracing so they can go to the wall and trace the name of a loved one that they're looking for. And then a lot of it is just being there for what people need. This is a really emotional experience for a lot of people for an obvious reason. And so we ask them to kind of respectfully make sure that if that person needs anything from them, that they're available for that person when they need to be.
In talking with those that have come out so far, we've had a lot of Vietnam veterans, as you can imagine. We've also had a lot of younger people coming, parents bringing kids, grandkids coming. We've also had a lot of just community who don't really know a lot about what it is. They want to come out and see it. But what we really see is our veteran community coming out and wanting to be a part of the healing process and to be here for the veteran that may just need somebody to stand beside of them. If one single veteran walks away from this wall and feels truly welcomed home, or they feel like they've been healed by being able to be here, then all of it's been worth it.
After many years of discussion about one of Linebaugh Library's services combining with Rutherford County Archives, it now becomes a reality.
Linebaugh Library's Historical Research Room, which focuses on Rutherford County history, has moved into the Rutherford County Archives building, which focuses on government records and history as well. Both form a one-stop shop for local historical resources.
In 2008, John and I started talking because Linebaugh needed more space. So we were thinking, okay, we take that whole room and we put it over here in the archives. Well, there wasn't space. So we're thinking, okay, we have to add on. Well, money wasn't going to happen. And then when the new judicial building was built, they had to build John extra space over here. And I said, you know, we should be able to make this work. And we started talking again and realized that we had a lot of common areas, like this area where we're in now. John had this size. This was about the size of where we had our tables and chairs and research area in the room. And so when we started incorporating rather than just plopping it as a separate piece, we realized it was going to work. We were sending people over here, and John was sending people to us. And we sent Lisa Ramsey over here. She was upstairs. She was a supervisor at Linebaugh, and along with the staff at the archives. Really a win-win situation because each brings their own specialty to the table. And so it's a great collaboration.
The Rutherford County Archives is a building a lot of people might not have seen before, so the director gave us a tour.
So Rutherford County Archives, we've been in this building since 2006, and we're part of Rutherford County government. Our job is to keep all the permanent and legal records of the county. So if people come here, we have divorce records, property records, various types of court records. We also have history of the county go back to 1804 since we have all the oldest records of the county. All right, let's take a small tour of the county archives. When people come in, they are greeted here at the front desk so we can see what they need. Sometimes they just need a quick file. Sometimes they're here to do research. This is our research room. We're happy to have the new library edition here for our patrons. Here you'll find the historical books of the county as well as the region to do research. But this is a nice place to come and sit and do your research, look at our records, as well as get into the library's collections. We do offer several databases at our disposal. We, for example, Ancestries.com or Newspapers.com, where our patrons can come in, sit down at the computers, and do that kind of research. This is our conservation lab where we do hands-on preservation work with our historic documents. Our staff and students are able to come in here to work on various projects, be it old newspapers or old county records, where they have to be cleaned and then mended, as well as refolded and put into acid-free boxes and containers. We have a new vault to keep all of our microfilm as well as our photograph collections and historic negative collections. So when people come to the archives, we can pull a vast amount of microfilm records, be it census or military records. This is where we keep a majority of the county records. This is where you'll find records from 1804 to almost the present. The various courts and county offices that we represent by keeping their records. So it's our job to preserve these records. It's mandated by federal, state, and local laws that some things are kept forever, and that literally means if we have the paper, we keep it forever. Most of this stuff is digitized and or microfilmed for emergency backup, but it's our privilege to keep the records of that document the citizens of our county. One of the more exciting collections we have is the Daily News Journal. We had the honor and privilege to get their bound volumes of newspapers from 1938 to 2012. These are available online as well as on microfilm, but when you come to the county archives, we're able to pull these out for patrons to look at, which is kind of exciting. We're happy to announce that we have a brand new addition to the building. It is to help us streamline records management with the various county offices. This new addition is 2 stories, so we do have a lift to get pallets of records from the first floor to the second floor. So please come visit us at the Rutherford County Archives. We're located at 435 Rice Street, right here in the heart of Murfreesboro. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. You're welcome to look us up online. Give us a call. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Live theater is back at the Murfreesboro Center for the Arts with their first show inside the theater in over a year. After over a year of no live shows inside, the Murfreesboro Center for the Arts is back. The same show that just 2 weeks from opening night was shut down because of COVID is now here with the beloved story Little Women the Musical as it lights up the stage for the first time in over a year.
This is our first time welcoming people back into the building, and it's very exciting, and we're just going to keep going. We're rehearsing Elf, we're rehearsing Matilda. Here we go. Charlotte Myrie Sheely, who plays Jo March, returns as the lead, this time with her father playing the role of Mr. Lawrence.
It's been really fun for both of us. We've had kind of different experiences walking into it because the show was cast almost 2 years ago, and I was cast in that original production, and we lost a few members now that we were finally able to put the show on. But it has all worked out because my dad was able to step in and fill in one of the roles.
If you've never read Little Women or seen it on stage, there's a reason it's been around since the 1800s. It's truly an inspiring and fun story for everyone.
Oh, it's so good, and it's a show for everyone because it is about family and not just your family of who you were born with and you got lucky to get to be in your family, but your found family too.
The center had an amazing opening weekend. The cast was happy to be on stage, and the packed audience showed that the community missed it too.
Live theater is back, and that is part of the excitement.
Yeah.
Is we've all been missing that greatly. Something special about live theater.
If you missed Little Women on opening weekend, there's still lots to come at the Center for the Arts, so make sure to check out their upcoming schedule.
We are full on open. Come check us out. Go to Facebook page, see what's happening. Go to borougharts.org and see what's happening. But there is something almost every weekend, except for Thanksgiving weekend, through the end of the year, happening at the Center for the Arts. If you want to come see a kids show, if you want to come see Little Women, if you want to come see Elf, all kinds of things happening. So please check us out.
The city organized a pilot program started on Alexander Boulevard to gather information on a speed calming method to reduce speeds in neighborhoods.
Because of increasing numbers of speeders traveling through neighborhoods, the City Council directed the Engineering Department to conduct a pilot program to test speed cushions and see if they're an effective speed deterrent. Speed cushions are humps that include wheel cutouts to allow large emergency vehicles to pass unaffected. The information was shared with the City Council at a workshop meeting.
Late 2020, Council wanted us to test speed cushions. So because Alexander had already qualified for the program, we went ahead and installed the cushions on Alexander in February of 2021. Then in July of 2021, we sent out the surveys to residents to collect their feedback. And then we also went back out and collected traffic data. So this is the volumes on Alexander pre-speed cushions and post-speed cushions. As you can see, the volumes greatly decreased, indicating that people were avoiding the areas with the speed cushions. The good news is also the speeds decreased. From the surveys, we sent out 280, and we got about 120 responses. 2/3 of the residents that responded said that the pilot program was excellent or great. There was almost an even split between the people that responded that actually lived on Alexander versus just in the area. More than half of the people felt that the cushions are effective. And most residents didn't feel that noise was an issue. And 2/3 of the residents said that they feel like the cushions should stay. And we also give room for the residents to write a response, and all those responses were included in the packets that y'all received with the agenda today. A couple of the responses were concerned about emergency response, a delay in emergency response times. So I contacted Fire Station number 6, and we did a ride-along. So we did 2 passes down Alexander. We did one where we straddled the cushions, and then we did one where at least one wheel hit each speed cushion as we went down. So the first pass, it took 1 minute and 15 seconds, which equals about 33.6 miles per hour. The second pass, when we hit it with one wheel, it took 145, which equals about 24 miles per hour.
Neighborhoods that request speed cushions have to qualify with many different factors weighing in on the decision. The city has a list of subdivisions that have submitted requests, some not qualifying under the current guidelines.
Right now, we have 10 petitions that have been filed that are complete. So they're ready to be, or we've actually done studies on most of these. So they are Savannah Ridge, and then another one is Breckenridge Drive. That is from Sulphur Springs to Thompson Lane. The next 3 are local, which is Haynes Haven, Heroes Lane, and Aberdeen Circle. Kingdom Drive has also made a petition. Weston Boulevard is a local road. Racket Club Drive, there's over there on Splash Place, that neighborhood over there, and then Empire is a local road. So of the 10, 4 would not qualify.
The engineering department has recommended some changes to the qualification process based on the pilot program. With these changes, scores will be given to qualifying neighborhoods. The scores will be presented to City Council in March 2022 for further guidance.
Nothing says thank you like a delicious, hearty meal, and that's what some local veterans enjoyed at St. Clair Street Senior Center.
The St. Clair Street Senior Center honored military veterans with the Salute to Veterans Pancake Breakfast. 100 veterans and their spouses were treated to a Cracker Barrel pancake breakfast, bacon, sausage, juice, and coffee. Because of COVID, the Senior Center wanted to keep it more intimate with just spouses. Oakland High School's ROTC department presented the colors.
All time. March. Post. Colors.
Led everybody in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And stood for the Star-Spangled Banner. Assistant Parks and Recreation Director Thomas Laird welcomed the veterans and thanked them for their service before offering the opening prayer. The Murfreesboro Symphony Sax Quartet was the entertainment and played each branch's service song while the veterans of that branch stood. The veterans and spouses enjoyed their breakfast as the quartet continued to play throughout the meal.
It's that time of year when your property taxes are due. Here's a public service announcement to explain the most convenient way to pay.
The City of Murfreesboro would like to remind you your city property taxes are due on December 31st. As the tax office will be closed on December 31st, payment can be made on or before January 3rd without incurring interest charges. There are 3 ways you can pay your property taxes. You can stop by the tax department on the first floor of City Hall, 111 West Vine Street. You can mail a check to the City of Murfreesboro, P.O. Box 1139, Murfreesboro, Tennessee 37133, or you can view and pay your property taxes online at www.murfreesborotntax.com. If you haven't received your city property tax notice or have any questions regarding your notice, please contact the tax department at 615-893-5210. Once again, Murfreesboro City property taxes must be paid by January 3rd to avoid interest.
With lots of home cooking happening this time of year, the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department provides you holiday cooking safety tips. The leading cause of fires in the kitchen is unattended cooking. Be on alert. If you are sleepy or have consumed alcohol, don't use the oven or stovetop. If you are simmering, baking, roasting, or boiling, check it regularly. Remain in the home while food is cooking and use a timer to remind you that you are cooking. Keep anything that can catch on fire, oven mitts, wooden utensils, food packages, towels, or curtains away from your stovetop. If you have a cooking fire, just get out. When you leave, close the door behind you to help contain the fire. Keep a lid nearby when you're cooking to smother small grease fires. Smother the fire by sliding the lid over the pan and turn off the stovetop. Leave the pan covered until it is completely cooled. For an oven fire, turn off the heat and keep the door closed. The National Fire Protection Association discourages the use of outdoor gas-fueled turkey fryers that immerse the turkey in hot oil. NFPA encourages those who prefer fried turkey to consider a new type of oil-less fryer or to seek out professional establishments such as grocery stores, specialty food retailers, and restaurants. We are excited to share that we have partnered with PAWS of Rutherford County to bring you a Pet of the Month each month here on CityTV. Jared is a 4-year-old Labrador Retriever mix who was found as a stray. He will bring so much personality and enjoyment to your home just in time for the holidays. Jared is enthusiastic and energetic and flourishes best outside away from the kennel area. PAWS highly recommends requesting to spend time with him outside where he is most relaxed, and boy does he love his toys. For more information on Jared and many other awesome dogs and cats available for adoption, visit paws.rutherfordcountytn.gov. Buy one, get one free. Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation's annual BOGO sale begins Monday, December 13th for individual, yearly, and monthly facility passes for Sportscom and Patterson Park. But there's more. City residents, youth, seniors, and military receive discounts on top of the BOGO sale. And you'll receive free guest passes with every purchase. Plus, monthly and yearly pass holders will receive discounts on admission to Borough Beach. So mark your calendar. BOGO starts December 13th and ends January 16th, 2022. We are excited that here at Murfreesboro City TV, we were again recognized nationally for quality government television programming from NATOA with 5 national awards. Remember, the City of Murfreesboro offices will be closed Thursday and Friday, December 23rd and 24th for the Christmas holiday, and also will be closed Friday, December 31st for the New Year's holiday. Parks and recreation facilities as well as golf facilities will be open for these dates. Check for changes in closing times at your favorite facility. Murfreesboro solid waste garbage pickup during Christmas week and New Year's week will be Thursday's pickup will be Wednesday and Friday's pickup will be Thursday and closed on both Fridays. Every Murfreesboro office except for police and fire departments will be closed Saturday, December 25th and Saturday, January 1st, 2022. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and we want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.